So welcome back to the last coding challenge of this. As always, we are going to continue working on the same project we have been working throughout this section. So this is where we left off after coding challenge number 2. For this challenge, I want you to take the existing project and add two things. First, we are going to add this sale label in the top left corner of the project, and second, we are going to add these 6 available product colors at the bottom. So pause this video and try on your own, and don't forget, if you have any doubt, do Google it. So let's start with the same label. This is actually very similar to something we built earlier in the course, but this time instead of using a pseudo element, we simply creating a normal HTML element. So this is the text, a paragraph is fine, and I'm going to place it close to the price. So I'm creating a class sale. Okay. Now I'm going to put the CSS close to the other shipping and pricing styles. So I'm keeping it here. Okay. So firstly, I'm giving a background color. That is hashtag PC2F2F. Now I'm giving the text color is white. Now I'm transforming the text uppercase. Okay. Now I'm giving the font weight bold. 7 pixels to the top and bottom, and 15 pixels to the left and right. Make sure you have to double the right and left for the top padding. So I'm also giving this as display inline block. And now the box only occupies the space that it actually needs. Next, we need to move this label into the top left corner of our product. For that, we are going to use absolute positioning. But remember, before we absolute position an element, we need to decide which element it should be positioned related to. In our case, that is the product itself. So let's select the product article and give it the position relative. Now For the sale, we are giving the position absolute and top 0 and left will be also 0. Then we can change later. Now I'm just taking the top as minus 15 pixels. Okay, and left will be minus 34 pixels. Okay, now it is center, and you can adjust these values slightly depending on your exact layout. There is one small detail. If you look at the word sale, you will notice that the letters have some extra space between them. This is the perfect opportunity to practice our Googling skills also. I would simply search for CSS and space between characters. We go here. You can go anywhere. So there are several things. So I'm just taking this one. So I'm just adding here. As you can see, it has some spacing in it, and now I'm just adjusting the size. Okay, now it is centered. So now our label is finished, and now let's build the 6 available colors. We want a container that holds 6 small squares. So inside our product, that is after the product details here, and before the okay, I'm creating a div, and the class for that is colors, and I'm just closing the div, and inside that I'm just creating another div. Inside that I'm just creating another div that has the class color. Okay, I'm just copying this. I'm just pasting it 6 times. Okay, as you have 6 colors, that is black, blue, red, yellow, green and brown. I'm just giving the color names also, just for a reference. As we can create multiple classes, I'm just doing the same. So notice that each element has 2 classes. The first class color gives us the common styling. The second class blue or any color allows us to give the particular square its own color. Now styling some colors. So I'm just selecting the class color. In that I'm giving height I will give background color. It will be black. And then right 2 pixels and width also be 22 pixels. Okay. At first, all of them will be black. That's because we are giving the common color class a background color that is black. Now let's give each individual color its own background. Now I'm selecting blue. I'm giving the background color tag 2f6ee2. I'm just simply copying this. I'm giving it 6 times. Now we can style each color. The next one would be red. For this, I'm using the color BC2F2F. The next one would be yellow. For that, I'm giving the background color F0 BF1E. And the next one would be green. And for this, I'm giving the green color 90C C20. And the last one will be brown. And for that, I'm giving 885214. Okay. So the yellow didn't came. Okay, now it's perfect. But there is one problem. They are currently appearing one underneath another. That's because div elements are block level elements by default. Remember the trick we learned when we are talking about the different types of boxes. We can change the display type too. So I'm giving the inline block. Now they are sitting side by side. We can't simply use inline here because we want our height and width to work properly. And that's exactly why we are using inline block. And the squares are little too close to each other. So let's add some margin on the right. I'm giving 10 pixels. And now our 6 colors are nicely spaced out. And the one final detail is that we need a little more space between the product link and the product details. You might remember that earlier we tried to add margin to another anchor element and it does not work as we expected because an anchor is an inline element by default and vertical margins such as margin top and margin bottom does not work in the same way on inline elements. Okay, that's here. And I'm giving the margin bottom 30 pixels. It wouldn't give us the same result or the result we wanted. Instead, we can turn the link into an inline block element. Display And now the margin work, and we can get the correct amount of space between the link and the product details. At this point, you have all the fundamentals of HTML and CSS concepts. You need to start building layouts, and that's exactly what we are going to focus on in the next section. So once you review everything we are covered here, I'll see you in the next lesson.